And streaming on crossroadstoday.com. Overnight, a helicopter crashed into a radio tower in Houston. The crash killed 4 people. The details just ahead. And an investigation is underway after top U.S. secret documents were leaked. We'll tell you what the documents showcased. Plus, we'll show you the history that unfolded over the weekend here in Victoria as the city continues to celebrate its bicentennial.
And that Gulf wind returned over the weekend, bringing us some more above average warm weather, and that's going to continue with us all week long. But out in the tropics, I'm sure you've heard there's a couple tropical systems that form. We'll talk about all that and the weather and more coming up.
The Texas A&M Aggies looking like to be the underdogs in this upcoming college football playoffs. Coming up in sports, I'll have more information regarding them.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and thank you for joining us. And happy Monday. It's this new start to a new week.
It is. It's the beginning of a brand new week. We're already more than halfway through the month of October, Carolina.
That's
a couple more weeks.
Right. And we got to celebrate and enjoy these long days before daylight savings. And we have to fall back.
Fall back an hour. And we gain an hour of sleep, though. That'd be pretty nice.
We gain an hour of sleep. And we can also watch an outdoor movie. Maybe like closer to 6 o'clock because that sunset will be a little bit earlier.
Yeah, a little bit earlier, and same thing with our sunrise as well. But
we just have to hope that the weather cooperates.
Yeah, that too. Same thing with Halloween, because Halloween is next week.
Are we expecting it to be maybe like closer to the 70s, Parker?
As of right now, it's not looking too bad of a Halloween for the forecast, but we're going to have much more accurate details as we get a little closer to that going into next week. But right now, if you're tuning in with us this morning, obviously it's not warm out there just yet. It's actually a little bit cool, sitting at 58 degrees here in Victoria. Dew point 1 degree off at 57, bringing humidity to 97%. So definitely plenty humid out there. You're going to notice that. But we're not really expecting too much in terms of fog out there. If you do see any, it's going to be really thin streaks kind of floating through the air. Nothing to really worry about this morning. But looking at your temperatures, we got lots of mid and lovely mid and upper 50s out there this morning. And you're probably wondering, why are we so much cooler out there this morning, Parker? Well, it's because we picked up a little slight northeasterly wind that's coming all the way from northeast Texas and even parts of southwestern Arkansas. And you're probably wondering, where does that wind come from? Well, that big high pressure system that came in right behind the front that came through us last week is actually residing all over the eastern half of the United States, and you can actually see it with how clear it is out there. And that's bringing us some northeasterly winds this morning. But as we go to the afternoon, we're going to pick up some more southeasterly winds coming out of the Gulf, and that's going to bring back some mostly sunny and partly cloudy skies today. So if you're seeing your kiddos at the door this morning, it's packing a cool morning, maybe a light jacket this morning, but it's going to be a bit warm again this afternoon. We're going to have more details on that coming up next. Carolina.
Vice President Kamala Harris celebrated her birthday from the campaign trail on Sunday with a pair of stops in Battleground, Georgia. Harris began her busy day delivering remarks at a church service in Stonecrest, just outside of Atlanta. The vice president speaking to the large congregation of New Birth Missionary Baptist Church on the importance of maintaining faith in times of uncertainty and encouraging members to get out and vote. We'll go to Washington for more later. And now to the breaking news overnight, a deadly helicopter crash in Houston. The chopper crashing into a radio tower, scattering debris across the neighborhood.
This is the massive fire overnight after a helicopter brought down a radio tower in a Houston neighborhood. Authorities saying the fiery aftermath and debris spread across 2 to 3 blocks. Police say all 4 people on board, including a child, were killed. At first, emergency responders were not clear what the chopper had struck.
Yeah, they said a helicopter hit a crane. CenterPoint's notified. Advised a helicopter hit a red and white telephone tower.
Investigators say the private helicopter taking off from a nearby airfield may have flown into a cable, ultimately taking down the 1,200-foot tower. Incredibly, police say no one on the ground was hurt and no homes were damaged.
I clearly saw, it looked like a crane or like a radio tower. It looked like it was hit, and it got bright orange, like it flamed, and it just crumbled down. You heard everything shake.
Authorities are now focused on finding and identifying the victims' remains across that neighborhood, asking the public to help search for debris.
Authorities are also warning about hazardous gases at the crash site. A shelter was set up for nearby residents. Federal investigators will now try to determine what caused the crash. Allison Kosick, ABC News, New York.
U.S. officials are investigating the apparent leak of two top secret U.S. documents. Officials say the documents contain information on American spy agencies tracking possible Israeli preparations for conducting an attack on Iran, adding that the leaked documents, which were posted on social media Friday, appear to be authentic. However, officials note that the damage to national security appears to be limited in scope, although the assessment is still ongoing. Former President Donald Trump was on the campaign trail in Pennsylvania Sunday. The former president was set to deliver remarks before supporters in Lancaster. However, before his rally, Trump took a moment to answer questions from reporters ahead of a campaign stop at a local fast food restaurant. Trump discussed his phone call with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu while also calling out the Biden-Harris administration. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office reports a potential homicide overnight on Thursday, October 17th. The Sheriff's Office launched a joint investigation into an incident that led to a death near Edna on Highway 59. We've reached out for more information on the incident, and the Texas Rangers are now investigating. Historical reenactors went back 200 years ago at Riverside Park in celebration of the founding of Victoria County. Attendees took in a reenactment of colonial Victoria. The actors wore traditional military garb, played music, and shot their muskets, and enjoyed food and drink made using colonial recipes, all in celebration of Victoria's rich history.
We understand what went on in order to understand what's going on. It's important to know about the then in order to understand about the here.
The ceremony had a flag raising in the morning and finished the closing ceremony with a musket salute. Early voting kicks off today and ends Friday, November 1st. Victoria residents can head over to the Dr. Penny Dodson Public Health Center to cast their vote early. Polls are open today through the end of this week from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. And to view all early voting locations by county, come to crossroadstoday.com. And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We want to know, are you voting today? Okay, let's take a look. 37% of you say yes, you are, and 63% of you say no, you are not. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Let's get a look at our clock up here. It is 6:37 on our Monday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. We take a look at what county leaders are working on.
I'm ABC's Perry Russom in Washington. Almost 2 weeks ago until Election Day, Harris is campaigning with former Congresswoman Liz Cheney. Trump heads to North Carolina. That story coming up.
And also coming up next after the break in the full forecast, it's going to be another warm day all across our beautiful state. I'll tell you how warm I think it's going to be here on the Crossroads. Coming up later on Sunrise, we're going to continue looking at what two tropical storms just formed out there in the Caribbean. Well, good morning, Crossroads. You're looking live in Cuero this morning. Still pretty cool out there. We're sitting at 56 degrees in Cuero right now. Our dew point 1 degree off at 55, bringing humidity to 96%. So definitely plenty humid out there, but we're not expecting too much in terms of fog out there. But like I've been saying all morning, if you do see any, it's going to be really thin streaks kind of floating through the air. Nothing to really worry about on the roads this morning. But look at your future clouds and radar for today. I'm going to press play. You're going to see, actually, you're going to see nothing but today. Lots of mostly sunny skies, except for maybe a few partly cloudy skies as we go into the mid to late afternoon today. You're also going to notice 1 or 2 showers that this computer is trying to pick up on in the southwestern counties in the late morning, early afternoon. So if you do see that rain today, I would think you would have to be very, very lucky, because I think I have rain chances today at a whopping 0%. So I don't think there's going to be any rain today. But like I said, maybe some partly cloudy skies starting to form as we go into the later afternoon. But otherwise, lots of mostly sunny skies out there with a few clouds. That's going to bring us another warm day today. I think it's going to be around 81 here at noontime. This computer thinks 80. But in the afternoon, I'm thinking I have about 87 here in Victoria, maybe 88 for a moment or so. Everybody else is going to see about the same thing, 85, 86, or 87. Unless you're along the immediate coast, you're going to see highs at about 83 or 84 today. I've got a high forecast at 84 in Port Lavaca for this afternoon. But in the background, we do still have a little bit of pollen we're dealing with. We've got moderate tree, grass tree, and ragweed pollen today, so make sure to be careful with that. Also be careful with the high UV index. But also, if y'all go down to the beach today or going to the coast to go fishing, not too bad of a day. Slightly choppy waters out there with your winds 10 to 15 knots, and your water's still pretty warm in the upper 70s and low 80s. But coming away for the rest of this week, we got lots more warm weather and sunshine. But coming up next, we're going to take a look at what's going on in the tropics.
Texas A&M Aggies have been one of the SEC teams that have flown under the radar during this college football season. And after yesterday's victory against Mississippi State, they now sit on top of their conference. The Aggies were on the road yesterday in Mississippi and did exactly what they were supposed to do. Now, next week, all the hype will come into question as they face a formidable opponent in the undefeated and number 8 ranked LSU. The Aggies' next game against a top 25 team will be their final game of the season and is against Texas. And that brought me to your viewer poll. Now, there's a chance we could see the Aggies in a conference championship game, and you mix that in with potentially beating 1 or 2 top 25 teams in college football. So my question to you guys in Victoria is, do you see Texas A&M in the college football playoffs? And look at the results. We got 50% that said yes, 40% that said no, and 10% that is just unsure. Either way, Texas A&M will be making a run. And, of course, this NFL Sunday, we got the Houston Texans taking on the Green Bay Packers, the marquee matchup of C.J. Stroud versus Jordan Love. And this was a nail-biter. And the first touchdown of the game seems Love launched the ball like a bullet to Tucker Kraft for a 14-yard Packer touchdown. Not quite sure what this celebration is, but I'm sure social media will help me out with that one. It seems like it's something from a movie. But after failing to score on that drive, the Texans punt to the Packers. The Texans somehow, some way recovered. But the luck just didn't last long, unfortunately. The Packers win in a walk-off field goal in just a matter of seconds. The final score being 24-22. Packers win it. Stroud with a not-so-great game, throwing for only 86 yards to Jordan Love's 220. And that does it for your 25 News Now Sports. Until next time, I'm Ray Robinson.
Thank you, Ray. All right, we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Search for Crossroads Today Plus. Almost 2 weeks to go until Election Day. All of the focus is on the battleground states that will decide the election. Vice President Kamala Harris visiting 3 battleground states today. Former President Trump will be in North Carolina.
Today, Vice President Kamala Harris campaigning in 3 battleground states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. She'll be joined by former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney. Harris on MSNBC.
Donald Trump should never again stand behind the seal of the President of the United States.
Harris in Georgia this weekend, joined by her pastor.
Are all people of faith expressing those words in their actions? Do we have leaders in place who understand that in the face of a stranger, one should see a neighbor?
Former President Trump heading to North Carolina today to survey hurricane damage, then holding a rally in Greenville, an hour-and-a-half east of Raleigh. Trump visiting a McDonald's in Pennsylvania this weekend, working the fry station.
No charge, Trump is paying for it. Is that okay? 2024.
Trump asked if he would accept the results of the election, win or lose.
It's a fair election, always. I would always accept it if it's got to be a fair election.
And repeating unsubstantiated claims that Vice President Kamala Harris lied about working at McDonald's in college.
She never worked at McDonald's. In other words, she's lying, Kamala.
A Harris spokesperson responding saying, when Trump feels desperate, all he knows how to do is lie. Trump on Fox News once again downplaying the violence on January 6th.
I'm saying that when I saw that tremendous crowd, the largest group I've ever spoken to, in front of these beautiful monuments, I thought it was actually a beautiful thing. It was a protest.
Some new numbers on campaign fundraising. Last month, Harris raised more than $220 million. That's more than 3.5 times what Trump raised. Perry Russom, ABC News, Washington.
Victoria County Commissioners meet today at 10 a.m. Here are a few items from their agenda. They'll consider approval of a Citizens Medical Center ICU additions and renovations AIA document G702 for payment number 5. They'll also consider the 2025 Indigent Defense Formula Grant Program resolution and receive for the record the 2024 Discretionary Fund Amendment for Tax Assessor Special Fund 499. The court meets at the Victoria County Courthouse at 115 North Bridge Street in room 241. The time is now, let's get a look at our clock up here. It's 6:45 on our Monday morning. Still to come, running for a cause. We take a look at how a former nurse is being remembered. All right, it is time to celebrate those birthdays. Happy birthday to Isabela. Happy second birthday to our gorgeous princess. We love you so much, Mimi and Popo Resendez and all the family.
Oh, happy birthday, Isabella. And also happy birthday to Luke. Happy birthday to Yuki Luke. Grandma loves you so much, and I hope you have an awesome day today because you are awesome.
Happy birthday to Miley. Happy 13th birthday, Miley. We love you so much from Mom and Dad.
Happy birthday, Miley, and also happy birthday to Jesse. Happy birthday, Dad. We love you so much from your daughter, Madeline, sons John, Matthew, and all of your grandchildren.
Happy birthday to Jillian. Wishing you a happy birthday and sending you birthday blessings your way. Love you, Daddy.
Oh, happy birthday, Jillian. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com, click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
All right, the time is just about 6:47 on our Monday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today. And you can still submit your birthday wishes if you have an upcoming birthday this week. So we'll look for those.
Absolutely. Well, happy birthday if you're celebrating with us today. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. Taking a look at the tropics this morning. I'm sure a lot of y'all maybe saw over the weekend we had two separate systems that formed over the weekend. We're talking about Oscar, and we're also talking about Nadine as well. Nadine has officially kind of dissipated back into a post-tropical remnants, but you can actually notice down there it's actually expected to become another tropical system out there in the Pacific, gaining a Pacific name over the next 24 to 48 hours with chances at 90%. Actually, you can see it's right there. Really looks like it's about to form here really anytime soon. But the other storm that formed over the weekend, I wanted to first say Nadine formed right here. It moved exactly where we thought it would, moving west into Central America. But now moving on to Oscar. Oscar formed on Saturday afternoon, and it turned into a hurricane on Saturday, if you believe that. But what's really interesting about this storm and this one in Pacific is if y'all tuned in with us on Friday, also on Thursday as well, the chances of development on Oscar were at 10% over the next 48 hours to 7 days. So we weren't really looking at anything forming out of this as we went on to Friday and over the weekend. But now we've got Tropical Storm Oscar. But the good news is, as you can see, it's located over eastern Cuba. That's not going to come our way. It's going to go back out into the Atlantic, likely as a still tropical storm. But you can see all the islands over there still under a tropical storm warning and watch as well. But we're still watching another tropical wave that came off the western coast of Africa not too long ago, a couple days ago. But why we're watching this is because computers are still suggesting that as we go into late next week and into the week after that, we're talking 2 to 3 weeks from now, we might be seeing something trying to develop in the Caribbean. But until that happens, we're going to have more details on that and more coming up later on Sunrise.
Over the weekend, the Britney's Believers Corporation held their 4th annual 5K walk and run. The event hosted participants who contributed to the fundraising campaign. All events will be given back as scholarships for aspiring nurses. The nonprofit was created in honor of former nurse Brittany Langridge, who died in 2021 from cancer. She was in the process of becoming a registered nurse, and her friends and family created this organization and event in her honor.
She was such a vibrant and loving person. She loved everybody and was very giving and just passionate about nursing. And we wanted to do something in her memory.
Some participants expressed their belief in the importance of events like this and remembering the reason for the walk.
This event is very important to me. A dear friend of mine, it was her daughter. And so I try to support her every year, and we love her.
Supporters had the chance to submit their names for raffles and purchase barbecue plates as well. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Learn how many new civil lawsuits this disgraced music artist is facing. Sean Combs faces 6 new civil lawsuits. They're from 3 women and 3 men and were filed in New York on Sunday. The suits allege rape, sexual assault, sexual harassment, and more at Combs' parties. In one claim, other celebrities are accused of participating as well, though it's unclear who. All but one of the plaintiffs say Combs drugged them. A new study shows racial disparities exist when it comes to doctors prescribing pain medicine to patients after surgery. Researchers found black patients were about 74% more likely than white patients to receive opioid pills in their post-surgery recovery. And blacks were 29% less likely than whites to receive a combination of 4 pain medicines. The study found that the combination of 4 medicines provided better pain relief and was less addictive than opioids. A northern Gaza hospital chief describes a desperate situation from the around-the-clock Israeli bombardment. A UN aid mission was prevented from reaching the facility, and patients awaiting evacuation are stuck. A UN delegation scheduled to bring fuel, medical teams, food, and other supplies were not allowed to access the hospital. In addition, 13 patients with permission to be evacuated to Gaza City were prevented from being transferred. The Jackson Electric Cooperative reports a planned outage for power line maintenance this morning from 8:30 in the morning to noon. They say the outage will affect 300 members north of Edna, and the main areas that will be affected are in Cordele, Speaks, Morales, and Lavaca County areas. The Victoria ISD continues to provide information on the upcoming voter approval tax rate election. The VATRE will increase the school tax rate, which the district plans to use on increasing teacher and staff wages. The 9-cent increase would cost a homeowner with a $235,000 home $121.50 more per year. There are several information meetings starting today, and the district will present their plan at the Howell Middle School Library with meetings scheduled through this week and the next. Halloween is upon us, and 25 News Now wants to find out who's got the most creative costumes this year. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll and enter your costume, excuse me, not our viewer poll, just go to crossroadstoday.com and enter your costume in our Bootastic Halloween costume contest. And submit those photos to the contest page on crossroadstoday.com now through October 25th. That's Friday. And then you can head back and vote for your favorite until October 30th. We'll showcase the picture with the most votes on 25 News Now on Halloween night. After Robert Roberson's ruling, the upcoming Court of Criminal Appeals election is in the spotlight. 3 of the 5 judges who allowed his execution are leaving amid primary challenges. And we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And we do have time for a look at our sunrise with Parker. But Parker, this sunrise is kind of fitting that Halloween theme.
A little bit dark out there with that sun kind of starting slowly going back in time as we start to slowly approach daylight savings. But I promise you all, as soon as daylight savings comes around the corner, we're going to be looking at a nice pretty sunrise at around 6 a.m. instead of 7 or 7:30. But right now in Port Lavaca, it's a little bit cool out there, 65 degrees along the Media Coast, but a little bit humid as well with the dew point 3 degrees off, bringing humidity to 89%. But we're not expecting any fog out there, but we are expecting a little bit of clouds. You kind of just saw right there. Mostly sunny this morning with a few clouds, but another mostly sunny day with a few clouds out there all across our beautiful state, bringing lots of 80s. But looking a little bit closer to home today, actually also very nice overnights as well in the low 60s. But looking a little closer to home today, like I was saying, 84 degrees. I'm thinking in Port Lavaca today, I'm thinking there's going to be lots of sunshine. Actually, I need to change this. Maybe some partly cloudy skies in the late afternoon, but a little bit warmer in Victoria. I'm thinking 87, and a little warmer than that. I'm thinking 88 in Cuero. So definitely get out there and enjoy that. A little bit warmer, above average heat that we have coming our way before at some point we will cool down and it's going to start feeling like fall.
You know, the silver lining behind all of this is I could still go to the pool this week.
That's right, and I could take my doggy on a walk and it's not freezing outside.
That's right, Parker.
Right.
Well, thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful start to your work week, and remember to listen on our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. And join us tonight